Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Following a briefing of the incident, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase and other security agencies to take all necessary action to ensure the safe and speedy rescue of Chief Olufalaye, who was adopted from his farm on Monday. President Buhari condemns the callous and reprehensible kidnapping of the former secretary to the government of the Federation and other statesmen. The President assures Chief Falaye's family, friends and other concerned Nigerians that the federal government will do all within its powers to ensure his swift release. President Buhari, who has requested constant updates from the police and security agencies on efforts to find and rescue Chief Falaye, also denounces the recurring incidents of criminal adoptions across the country. He assures all Nigerians that ongoing efforts to significantly enhance the security of lives and property in the country will continue to apace, and that under his leadership, Nigerians, irrespective of their status, will no longer be left at the mercy of criminal elements. The alleged decision to exempt some agencies from the Treasury single account, which was reached after a meeting of officials of the affected agencies, in addition to NNPC, it was launched the Bank of Industry, BOI, Federal Mortgage Bank, Bank of Agriculture, Urban Development Bank, Nigeria Exports and Ports Bank, Nigeria Independent Power Project, Galaxy Backbone and Nigeria Railways were equally exempted. And these issues generated a lot of controversies among Nigerians. Public affairs analyst Nelson Ekujimi opines that President Buhari should stand by the principles of the Treasury single account.
Had the central bank governor also come on board yesterday to deny that there's no exemption for any ministries, departments and agencies. But be as it may, one thing we are very sure of, that we have a government that is very, very responsible, that is transparent, that is accountable, and we hold them to their words. We believe in this government, unlike what transpired in the past, where stealing was not corruption. We know that this government has come on board and has told us clearly that in line with the Constitution and our values as African people, that stealing is corruption. Even the Bible itself condemns stealing, because stealing means taking what does not belong to you. So that is a violation of the Constitution as well as a violation of the laws of God. So we believe that this government will, fight corruption to the best of its capability. It behoves on us Nigerians to give the government all the necessary support and encouragement. And whoever thinks he can distract this government should better be admonished that this is a responsible and serious government that knows its onions, and it cannot be distracted by side talk.
As a follow-up to yesterday's extraordinary session of ECOWAS leaders in Abuja regarding the situation in Burkina Faso, a select group of West African leaders will be meeting today. President Buhari, who hosted the Abuja summit, will be represented at the meeting by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In all, 6 ECOWAS leaders will be attending the meeting later today with the leaders of last Thursday's military coup in Burkina Faso. The Vice President is expected back to Abuja later today. The Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Wednesday called on Muslims in Nigeria to imbibe the values of peaceful coexistence and brotherly love as they join their counterparts worldwide to celebrate this year's Eid al-Kabir. In his goodwill message signed by his Chief Press Secretary Habib Haruna, Governor Ambode said since Islam preaches the message of peace and tolerance, every Nigerian should embrace brotherly love and harmonious coexistence. He also enjoined Muslims faithful to pray for continued peace and tranquility in the state and the nation, especially in the northeast, while urging Muslims to shun religious extremism, which according to him is a challenging development for the country. The governor described those who hide under the veil of religion to perpetrate terrorism as being ignorant to the teachings of Islam, as nobody can fight for God. As Muslims across the world prepare to celebrate Eid al-Kabir, a visit to some motor parks in Lagos witnessed hike in transportation fare, a development many Nigerians complain bitterly about. Our correspondent Neto Lavare has details. As some people eager to travel and spend time with family, relatives and friends, a lot of them are discouraged as they move from one transportation park to the other, hoping the price of transportation will be reduced.
I'm going to Osun State. We took it around maybe 1,150, 1,550, but now it's 2,250. May God bless us. We don't have any option.
I'm going to Ibadan. The price is somehow expensive to me because as I am now, I'm coming from Oyingbo, and they said from there they said it's 1,500. So I have to come down to Ojota here to board the bus here. But unfortunately, I heard it's 1,000 naira. But before it should be 800 and 700. So it's highly expensive.
I'm traveling because of the Salah. I'm going because I wanted to celebrate with my family and all that. Price is high now. Is 2,500. I'm managing because of the festival period. So that is how everybody just like paying the money. It's not that we are comfortable with it.
One of the drivers has this to say.
Well, there's no passenger this time around. You see our people, our buses here, they are queuing for back. There's no passenger. People are crying for money. We are not increasing our price. We are crying 2,050 naira here.
Many passengers have taken to the roadside expressway to board buses at reduced price, not minding the risk attached to this.
We don't used to travel on the road before, but this is during this layer period. So the transportation stuff have increased. The money is increased already from 400 naira to 1,000 naira.
Still on the preparations for Eid al-Kabir in Ekiti State, the economic fallout in the state has taken its toll on the people. Some markets visited across Ado-Ekiti saw ram sellers and foodstuff sellers lament low patronage. And this is coming as the state government distributes rams to some Muslims as against the order rolled out by Muslim leadership in the state to reject the governor's Salah's gift. Rashid has more.
In a festive period like Eid al-Kabir, so many activities are always recorded and preparations are always in top gear in having a worthwhile celebration by Muslim faithfuls. But the cash crunch is no doubt taking its toll even as the state government distributes rams for some Muslim leaders in a move against the position of some others. However, Governor Ayodele Fayose clears the air.
In everything that is politics, I am not playing the politics of Islam or politics of Christianity. I'm doing the needful. And as a leader, that is what is expected of me. So I must support them because at Christmas I support Christians. It's just to encourage them. There's nobody that can give the totality of the need of any human being.
Despite the government's circle, the markets visited showed the grim reality of low patronage as affirmed by ram sellers and buyers alike.
The price is okay. It's not too high. At least we have the ram of 25,000, 30,000. We all know because there is no money. People are seeing no money.
Compared to what is going on in Ekiti, is high because of economic constraint in Ekiti is high.
The foodstuff section seems mostly hit with low patronage as sellers lament, adducing different reasons.
We are not seeing Salah in the markets. The rate of patronage is at the lowest ebb. We are not seeing it at all.
What do you think is specific?
Maybe there is no money in circulation, they've not paid the workers' salary, and the students have also resumed to a new academic session last week. So maybe parents have used their money to pay for their children's school fees or whatever.
As Nigerians lament, Eid al-Kabir is seen more as a religious feat than celebration. Thus, Nigerians are optimistic for better days ahead. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The federal government is to spend 70 million naira on a series of activities lined up for Nigeria's 55th independence anniversary celebration. And some of the events include the ceremonial change of guards at the presidential villa, which is to be preceded by a presidential address. Government officials have also lined up a children's party on October 3rd, where children from IDP camps are special guests.
This year's celebration is indeed low-key. This is because the present administration appreciates the economic hardship that Nigerians and indeed the nation is confronted with today. To address the situation, government has adopted a general policy to be very prudent in the management of our financial resources. This year's celebration is therefore in consonance with the cost-saving policy of this administration.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has appointed Olufolari Ogunsowo as the new chairman of the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. Ogunsowo's appointment was confirmed by the Lagos State House of Assembly on Tuesday on the request of the governor. Ambode had earlier approved the appointment of new directors of the board. The new directors include Akintola Bolaji, Maruf Olodare Tijani, Arinola Daisy, Seyi Alade, Afolayan Folashade and Ayodele Adebayo, with Jimmy Aino serving as board secretary. The new officers are expected to resume work immediately and work towards implementing the vision of the state government. Still, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has inaugurated the governor councils of the Lagos State University, Lagos State Polytechnic, Adeniro Ogunsanya College of Education, Makola Tedela College of Primary Education, and the Lagos State College of Health Technology, with a charge on them to work assiduously to reposition the institutions as former citadels of learning. The governor at the inauguration ceremony held at the banquet hall, Lagos House, Alausa, said his administration's belief that tertiary institutions are critical in achieving economic prosperity, prompted the careful selection of diverse professionals from the academia, public and private sectors with proven track record and sterling antecedents to manage the affairs of the state's institutions. Among those inaugurated include Justice George Adeshola Oguntade, a retired judge of the Supreme Court, as Chancellor of LASU. Professor Adebayo Ninolowo, a professor of sociology at the University of Lagos, as Pro-Chancellor and Chairman, Governor Council of LASU. Professor Tajudeen Bedamosi, a professor of history at the University of Lagos, as Chairman, Governor Council of LASPOTEC. Alhaja Sekinat Yusuf, as Chairman, Governor Council of MOCPED. Professor Tunde Samuel as Chairman, Governor Council of ICOD, and Mrs. Tilly Guiado as Chairman, College of Health Technology. Ambode urged members of the Council to see their appointment as a challenge and call to duty to bring back the lost glory of the tertiary institutions in the state. You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break now. We'll be back on more stories. Please stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treating looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. They don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria,
where you are the judge.
Thank you for joining us again. For more on news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV with a space then news. In Kaduna State, the government is considering relocating people affected by the latest flooding incidents that wreaked havoc in at least 10 council areas of the state. Governor Nasir El-Rufai dropped the hint during a visit to the area. The governor was accompanied by the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Sani Sidi, who lamented that about 64 council areas were affected in the northwest region. Amina Nebi has more on this report presented from our studios.
Thousands of residents have had to flee their homes as a result of the flood that submerged the area. The magnitude of the disaster was quite glaring to government officials who visited the affected communities. Governor El-Rufai had said it is necessary to give those affected top and immediate care. Governor Nasir El-Rufai, his deputy Bala Bantex, and other top government officials, including the Director General National Emergency Management Agency, Sani Sidi, were in the visiting team. It said the state government as well as the federal government is considering relocating the people pending when a lasting solution is found.
But the immediate priority now is to assist those that have lost property and whose livelihoods have been affected. But when this is over, we have to look at our communities and ensure that we have proper drainage, and that those that build on floodplains are encouraged to relocate. Because when you build...
The NEMA DG lamented that the early warning issued by the agency was not adhered to. He added that about 64 local government areas in the northwest region were affected by the flood this year. As the flood continues to affect more houses in Kaduna, residents are fleeing their house to seek refuge elsewhere. Areas affected include Banawa, Chudunwada, Kigo New Extension, Agunwa Romin. In the midst of the disaster, hoodlums have been carrying out their criminal activities in the affected areas.
In Kwara State, the police command has arrested a middle-aged man accused of selling fake police recruitment forms. Now, the suspect was said to print false forms to unsuspecting public as a prerequisite for recruitment into the Nigeria Police Force. Rashid has more.
President Muhammadu Buhari announced intention to recruit 10,000 police officers into the Nigerian police force. Job-seeking Nigerians have so far been swindled with fake forms, while original form is yet to be rolled out by the appropriate authority. The new Kwara Police Chief, Esausa Amadesu, in an apparent resolve to curb criminality, parades a 30-year-old cyber cafe operator in Ilorin, alleged of printing fake recruitment police forms to the public. The Commissioner of Police urged members of the public not to fall prey to fake recruitment syndicate, adding that the police will inform the people when ready to recruit the 10,000 personnel as directed by President Buhari.
Men of surveillance were moving around. We have won. If you want, I know that graciously the head of state has granted that police will be allowed to recruit about 10,000 numbered personnel this year. But the modalities have not been worked out. Therefore, officially, we have not been asked to start recruitment. But I don't know what went into the mind of this young man by name Ade Jimon. He runs a cyber cafe at 39 Moritala Mohammed Way. I would have loved to display his signboard here now. Both the Nigerian police forms were out for sale, and unsuspecting members of the public were busy purchasing. And when my men invaded the premises, forms like this were recovered, probably downloaded by way of amendment from the internet to make it look real.
The arrested suspect, however, denies selling of forms.
We have not sold anyone.
What about those ones you printed out?
It was printed 2 months ago. That was somewhere in July when it was announced that, the rumors was out that the form was out. But later, when it eventually said it's not out, we have not updated the signboard. That was why. And when they came, as in Mufti I did, they want to buy form. I told them the form is not out. I don't want they were police. So they said, but they saw it downstairs. I said it was a mistake. We have not rubbed it up. And they said that I was telling them they have not allowed us to be selling the form. That we already wrote it there before 2 months ago, so that when the form eventually out, people will know that we will need to sell the form too. Before they discover they were actually police. We don't know. Neither do we sell form for them.
While the police clamp down on suspected syndicates, Nigerians, however, await the recruitment process into the Nigerian police. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku is soliciting the support of the media for lasting peace in the state. He also wants journalists to be objective in reporting events budging on security. Huda Gordon reports.
It was an evening media practitioners had an opportunity to exchange banters with Governor Ishaku, but he also used the occasion to charge journalists to live up to their civic responsibility. The governor, however, assured the newsmen of a conducive and peaceful environment for them to carry out their duties if only they will act as agents of peace.
What I mean by doing your job in the professional manner. If you do your job in a professional manner, honestly speaking, I bet you will have an honor that will surpass what you ever imagine or think about. I've known a lot of journalists who have retired, but up to today, they're still being held in high esteem. This evening, we're sitting as friends, and so I'm feeling comfortable to talk with you. I'll criticize you, but I'm telling you the truth. And I don't mind if you criticize me constructively. If you have a fact and your facts are good, you can't criticize me. Or if you think I take a decision that is not on course, you can constructively criticize. That is the reason why you are there anyway.
It also afforded the governor an opportunity to promise to receive the state-owned newspaper, the Nigerian Sunrise. The chairman of the state chapter of the NUJ gave his words on the commitment of journalists in the state.
I want to assure you that once in a while, we will do some bitings. That does not show that we are not supporting your administration. But Your Excellency, these bitings are in the form of criticism. I've been able to know that Your Excellency, you are open to criticism. Therefore, I want to say this evening that whenever you read or you watch television, anything that is centered on investigative journalism, Your Excellency, do not say the journalists in Taraba State do not want you.
For his part, Chief Press Secretary described the meeting as a wake-up call for all journalists to ensure that their work reflects positively on their immediate society.
And I also want to advise my colleagues too, as a journalist, you are supposed to be practicing your profession at all times. And I want to urge you that on the social media, sometimes we do have a problem. People are falsifying things and saying them in the wrong way. I want those of us who have accounts on the social media to be using that medium to help us correct most of those things.
The meeting, which was targeted at ensuring that media is transparent in their reportage, is the face conveyed by the Darius administration. Udwa Godwin, CoreTV News.
For some business news. The federal government has released the Bombardier 700-100 with registration number GBER Global Express SN 9083, which was granted last week after the owners of the aircraft paid a penalty of $7 million to the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority and $20,000 to the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. The aircraft has been penalized for landing in Nigeria with illegal clearance documentation and operating 10 charter services locally. The government has also granted another aircraft to Embraer 135BJ with registration marks XAMHA from Franzburg, London. That was also stopped from leaving the country because it arrived the country with a legal clearance certificate and would only be released when it also pays 7 million naira as penalty. The World Bank has moved to alleviate the stress Lagos farmers go through by helping them increase agricultural productivity and enhance market access. According to the state's project coordinator, Commercial Agriculture Development, Kehinde Ogunyinka, during the ceremony of awarding certificates to participants of Women and Youth Empowerment Training Program, he said the World Bank will sponsor 55 persons to enable them to start businesses in rice cultivation, poultry farming, and others. The World Bank will also offer technical expertise, bringing international best practices and involving stakeholders to renew agribusiness development. To make this vision a reality, World Bank and state governments are determined to improve the sector through cultivation, harvesting, packaging, logistics, and marketing. For stories outside Nigeria, EU leaders are set to meet in Brussels amid continuing tension among members over a deal to relocate 120,000 migrants across the continent. Romania, the Czech Republic, Slovakia and Hungary opposed the mandatory quota scheme that was approved on Tuesday. Slovakia on Wednesday announced it was launching a legal challenge. Wednesday's emergency summit will also focus on tightening EU borders and boosting aid to neighbors of Syria from where many migrants come. EU leaders have struggled to find a coordinated response to the crisis. On Wednesday, the European Commission warned 19 members over breaches to asylum rules. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has pardoned 100 prisoners, including 3 Al Jazeera television journalists, on Wednesday, a day before he plans to head to the annual United Nations Summit of World Leaders. Canadian Mohamed Fahmy, Egyptian Baha Mohamed, and Australian Peter Grost were sentenced to 3 years in prison on a retrial last month for operating without a press license and broadcasting material harmful to Egypt, which had already been deported in February. A spokesperson for the Canadian government said that Canada was pleased with the pardon and it would help arrange Fahmy's departure from Egypt. The pardons were reported by security sources and Egypt's state news agency, which said they included prisoners who violated a 2013 law banning protest without a permit, as well as some who were sick. Human rights groups have accused Egyptian authorities of widespread violations since the army toppled the country's first democratically elected president, Islamic President Mohamed Morsi, after mass protests against his rule 2 years ago. You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break now. We'll be back with sports.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Chelsea doctor Eva Canero has decided to leave the club 6 weeks after criticisms from manager Jose Mourinho. Canero had a role downgraded after Mourinho said his medical staff were naive for treating Eden Hazard during a 2-2 draw with Swansea on 8th of August. Chelsea asked Canero, 42, to return to work, but she has decided not to and is now considering a legal position. The Football Association is looking into a complaint that Mourinho used abusive or sexist language towards her. Chelsea say they do not comment on internal staffing matters. Heather Roberts, chair of the FA's Inclusion Advisory Board, expressed the sadness and anger at the news of Canero's departure. Robert Lewandowski scored 5 goals in 9 minutes after coming on substitute for Bayern Munich in their Bundesliga victory against Wolfsburg. Bayern showed 1-0 at halftime when Lewandowski came on for Thiago. 6 minutes later, the Poland international netted his first goal of the night from close range. Lewandowski added 4 more in quick succession to record the fastest 5 goals scored by one player in Bundesliga history. The away side almost added a spectacular second from 60 yards when Joshua Lobs dropped just wide. But Lewandowski's introduction changed the game as the 27-year-old produced a clinical striking display. 3 of his goals were from close range, with his second driven powerfully from outside the box, and his 5th a brilliant acrobatic effort. With just 2 points from their first 6 Premier League games and pressure mounting from the stands, Newcastle United manager Steve McLaren has called on the fans to show blind faith and believe that the club will turn it around. Newcastle are one of 3 teams still searching for their first league win of the season and have only one local rival, Sunderland, below them. The Magpies hosts should be on Wednesday in the League Cup on Wednesday before facing tough games against champions Chelsea and Manchester City in the league.
Ha desviado el pelirrojo callback hacia atrás de forma un tanto peligrosa. Haidara con problemas, la pierde ante Abdi, se marcha Abdi, balón hacia atrás, la cesión, Capué juega con Igalo, Igalo busca el espacio y va a marcar. Igalo marca el...
Super Eagles fan and Belgium will have 2 matches to look forward to during October international break, as Sandialisa's men will face Cameroon and DR Congo. Mons will host one of Nigeria's friendly games in October, while fans in Dandalio will also get the chance to see the Super Eagles in action. 13,000 capacity multi-purpose stadium, Stade Charles Tondre, home of former Belgian league side, will be the battleground when the Super Eagles log it out with DR Congo on October 8. Now, 3 days later, Sandialisa's men will head for Dandalio, where they face arch-rivals Cameroon at the 12,000 capacity Stade Van Rol. Now, this was confirmed by the Nigeria Football Federation via their Twitter handle. The Super Eagles last faced the Indomitable Lions in February 2004, when Nelson Okocha's free kick sent them out of the quarterfinal of the Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia. These games are lined up to prepare Nigeria for the next year's Africa Cup of Nations and World Cup qualifiers. Striker Diego Costa will miss Chelsea's next 3 domestic matches after a Football Association charge of violent conduct was upheld. Costa Diego, however, denied the charge relating to an incident involving Laurent Koscielny. During Saturday's 2-0 win over Arsenal, Costa, 26, put his hands in his face before clashing with Gabriel, who was sent off but had a 3-game ban overturned earlier on Tuesday. In a statement, Chelsea said they were disappointed with the verdict. Costa's ban covers Chelsea's League Cup match at Bournemouth on Wednesday, along with Premier League matches against Newcastle and Southampton. Having confirmed the match, officials did not see the incidents between Costa and Koscielny. The FA supplied video footage to a panel of 3 former elite referees. Each had to independently rule Costa's action to be an instant red card for the FA to proceed with the charge. That's it to wrap on CoreTV News at 4. Many thanks for watching. I'm Olajumoke Olatunji.